Not the jobs report the White House wanted to see. Now President Trump is calling for the head of the agency that reported them to be fired. As reporter Connor Hansen shows us, the bad news comes as the president's wide-ranging trade war is about to heat up once again.
New employment numbers show signs of a solid summer job market were actually a mirage. Job numbers from May and June were revised down drastically, and American companies only added about 73,000 jobs in July. They were expected to add more than 100,000. Unemployment ticked up slightly to 4.2%. Those numbers so disappointing, President Trump on Truth Social called for the firing of the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
What does a bad leader do when they get bad news? Shoot the messenger. That's just what happened with the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Stocks slumped and the dollar dropped in value a week before new tariffs are set to kick in. The nonpartisan budget lab at Yale University calculated American consumers will be faced with an average effective tariff rate of 18.3%. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is downplaying fears about the labor market and sticking with its plan, continuing to ask people to wait and see how it all plays out.
Most of the job growth has come from the private sector. What does that tell us? That they're wanting to invest in the American economy.
The president's goal here is to reduce the trade deficit and to reshore manufacturing and to really use tariffs as a tool of trade policy and economic policy like it's meant to be used.
President Trump is also continuing his calls on the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates, which could ease pressure on the labor market.
Some local leaders are speaking out against President Trump's latest round of tariffs, which will take effect on August 7th. The president wants to impose a 10% universal levy on goods coming in from countries that the U.S. has a trade surplus with. But the countries the U.S. has a trade deficit will face steeper tariffs. Washington Senator Patty Murray hosted a virtual roundtable with some business leaders. Murray sees the tariff as a threat to Washington's economy, with 40% of jobs in the state dependent on international trade.
As usual, he's making all sorts of outlandish claims like that Japan is going to invest $550 billion in the U.S., or Europe is going to buy $750 billion worth of American energy, only for us to find out from these other countries that these numbers are totally made up, or that huge parts of his so-called deals are non-binding and unenforceable.
According to the Associated Press, it's been nearly a century since tariffs were imposed at this level. The Trump administration sees it as leveling the global trade landscape that has been skewed in favor of other countries.